मुंबई में आयोजित एक समारोह में सेल्सफोर्स ने अपनी डिजिटल परिवर्तन यात्रा को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए एक प्रमुख फास्ट मूविंग कंज्यूमर गुड्स कंपनी टाटा कंज्यूमर प्रोडक्ट्स लिमिटेड TCPL के साथ रणनीतिक सहयोग की घोषणा की। इस अगली पीढ़ी के गो टू मार्केट GTM प्लेटफॉर्म का लॉन्च TCPL के बिक्री और वितरण संचालन में उल्लेखनीय गति और दक्षता के साथ क्रांतिकारी बदलाव ला रहा है। TCPL द्वारा सेल्सफोर्स सेल्स क्लाउड सर्विस क्लाउड प्लेटफॉर्म म्यूलेसॉफ्ट को लागू करने का निर्णय ग्राहक अनुभव को बेहतर बनाने के लिए उन्नत तकनीक का लाभ उठाते हुए डिजिटल प्रथम डेटा संचालित संगठन में बदलने के अपने दृष्टिकोण के अनुरूप है। म्यूलेसॉफ्ट ने TCPL को बड़े पैमाने पर प्रदर्शन और स्थिरता प्रदान करते हुए सिस्टम में विशाल एकीकरण के सरलीकरण के माध्यम से डेटा की पूरी क्षमता का दोहन करने में सक्षम बनाया है। सेल्सफोर्स की उन्नत डेटा प्रबंधन और क्षमताओं का लाभ उठाते हुए TCPL ने उल्लेखनीय गति और दक्षता के साथ अपने डिजिटल परिवर्तन को गति दी है। प्लेटफॉर्म का विकास और परिनियोजन 4 महीनों के भीतर 3000 से अधिक वितरकों के लिए एक राष्ट्रव्यापी रोलआउट द्वारा संचालित किया गया था। इस रोलआउट के चरम पर एक ही दिन में 200 वितरकों को सफलतापूर्वक शामिल किया गया, जो प्लेटफॉर्म की मापनीयता और चपलता को प्रदर्शित करता है। प्लेटफॉर्म सेल्सफोर्स के टूल के साथ सहजता से एकीकृत होता है, वास्तविक समय की बाजार खुफिया जानकारी प्रदान करता है और सेल्सफोर्स ग्राहक 360 सूट के माध्यम से वितरक बिक्री और खुदरा शेल्फ गतिविधि में महत्वपूर्ण अंतर्दृष्टि प्रदान करता है।
So what is the multiple levels that we actually use it? One part of your question, is it real time? It's real time, so today we can pull out and actually find till the last invoice that's being billed a second before. So it's available on our handheld. So that's the real time part of it. Now what happens to the 9,000 odd sales folks? For them, we've got a recommendation engine. So the recommendation engine looks at what they've historically sold at the outlet, what is sold in similar outlets in the same area, and there's always a potential to say, oh, okay, in the same area this particular product sells, Sampan sells here in the neighborhood store, so maybe there's an opportunity for you to put Sampan on this store's shelves. So that's where the recommendation engine that we have, which is an ML based recommendation engine, is enabled on the handheld. Elsewhere we leverage all of this data for a lot of ML based analytics behind the scenes, but then this is what we've enabled as ML at the edge Salesforce.
Can I just request everybody limit to one question? We have a lot of people here, so let's go one question.
But one thing, remember, the way this is implemented, they would be able to unlock the AI features as and when they want. So it's not something like as these AI, waves of AI come in, they are completely aligned with opening those features as they want, not having to rebuild anything all over again. Okay, so this is completely, because it's a platform, as Sunil said, this is completely ready to go with any of the AI features that you would wish to.
I'll just add to that. So go back to what Sunil said is why we chose a platform versus trying to build or go for an out-of-the-box product. For us, at any point of time, we do not want to write AI algorithms from scratch. We're not a software company. We're a consumer company which want to be really out there in the top, making sure we have really good sales. So for us, we needed a platform that's got a lot of modules that we can leverage whenever we want. And that's where with Salesforce, we could just unlock features as and when we wanted and start leveraging. So that's the way we are operating. And that's what is giving us the speed to market in terms of innovating how we do business on the ground.
Hi, my name is Noor. I'm from Business World in India.
It's so intuitive, and like Swami always says, consumer grade UX. I think that's a huge difference in the speed at which it got rolled out without a lot of fuss.
Great. And is there
Things first, Agent Force is 1 month old, so obviously we couldn't have conceived something 9 months back or 12 months back when we started. When we started, the principle was very simple, that the platform had to be AI enabled, right? So there's a lot of AI in the system today, the predictive piece and everything else. We're working with TCPL on bringing the next generation of data and Agent Force together. We're in advanced stages where we have production pilots currently working, and so I think you should expect that we will soon talk about that as well. But like Arundhati said, this is not like we have to redo everything that we did. We are now simply bolting on the latest capabilities that are coming on into this platform, right? So hopefully that answers whether it's Agent Force or not.
Currently it's not.
Yeah, so that's the answer. Just went wrong the way. On the issue of first and general trade, I think at this scale, never been done, to my knowledge, right? Again, I could be wrong if somebody somewhere in some corner of LATAM has done it, or because general trade is generally in 3 regions. It's LATAM, it's Africa, it's India, and some parts of Southeast Asia, right? The rest of the world is mostly modern trade. But at this scale, to my knowledge, it's not been done, and definitely not done at the speed at which this was executed. So hopefully that answers the questions.
Sure.
So for us, the platform is a well-tested cloud platform that's got all the security built in. One of the things that happen, and we've got a separate cybersecurity practice within TCPL, for any of the custom applications that go in, this immense amount of testing that we do before it hits the market. Because today, the amount of cyber incidents that are happening are on the increase. One of the reasons why we chose a platform, and we're a company that's 100% in cloud, and we believe in the reason we chose Salesforce is also because it's 100% cloud. All the cyber security peripheries are completely taken care of. There is consistent, constant testing that happens at the Salesforce end. So that we as a business focus more on what it means to our sales workforce. Are we unlocking business value? Is it helping our top line, bottom line? Which is where our focus is. So we have constant reviews where we look at the platform, the uptime, like we said, 100% uptime. It's not 99.9, it's 100% uptime. And similarly, cyber is concerned, I don't know the number, maybe Arun, you can articulate the number. It's running for millions and millions of users across the world. All of them behind a cyber wall that they have built. So that's the way we look at it. You want to take on that?
Sure. I think, unfortunately, I can't talk specific numbers. Think about it this way: whether you're the National Security Agency in the US or you're my favorite Myra Bakery down the street in Bangalore, we have one version of the software. The beauty about SaaS is that there's not 10 different versions that today TCPL has deployed it that tomorrow they have to worry about upgrading. Thrice a year, we deliver updates to our platform. Somebody won't even know he wakes up one day, which is going to happen soon, and he'll know the latest version is out, and here's 25 more things he can do with the platform, fully tested for security, for compliance and everything. So our goal has been from day one that trust is our number one value. Customers like TCPL are trusting us with their data, their customer data, right? And so we don't own any of it, but we make sure that we secure it. And so the amount of money, people that we invest to make sure that trust is absolutely upheld, it's just I wish I can give you some anecdotes, but you should assume that for a $38 billion company, it's not a small amount of money and resources that we throw that problem. I'll let ma'am talk about the sustainability one, very close to her.
Let's see, there are two things that we really spend money on, okay? One is security and the other is innovation, all right? And that's something, that's a strength that Salesforce has, and probably it has the ability to do that on account of the fact, that our revenues are pretty robust. On the trust piece, just one added thing is, when you look at our AI stack, one of the reasons we came into the Copilot stage a little later than maybe the rest of the market was because we were very keen on ensuring that the trust layer that we built into the AI stack is something that really delivers. What does the trust layer do? The trust layer does 3 or 4 very important things. One thing is it ensures that your data is not being used to train the model. So your data remains your own, it does not go anywhere. The second thing it does is it weeds out bias, it weeds out toxicity, and very importantly weeds out hallucinations. As long as you are pointing to data stacks that are trusted by you, and not asking it to scrape the whole worldwide internet, okay? That you are pointing out to trusted data sources, whether inside or outside. All of these will get taken care of by the trust layer. And this is part of the AI stack that we have, okay? Regarding sustainability, again, sustainability is something that we are very worried about. And you all have heard about the carbon footprint of AI. That there is a lot of compute power storage, a lot of cooling that will be required, all of that. Now the reason, because of that, what we are working on is to see how we can make even smaller models. Models that really answer your question instead of having to go through everything. So there is a lot of research going on in order to see that this is not only reducing your carbon footprint but also making it available to the much smaller players. At the end of the day, we also need to make it available to one and all in order for it to be sustainable and for everybody to have the ability to access what is actually a very, very advanced technology. So to that extent, again, we have an Office of Sustainability separately that looks purely at just this, because we want to ensure that whenever we are giving you something, we are not asking you to do something which is not sustainable. At the end of the day, we want to leave more resources for our future generation rather than borrow from them and leave them, with a deficit. So yeah, that is very much at the core of everything we do.
Close on sustainability, we're a net zero company 3 years back, so this is something that we're very, very committed to. And by the way, that's a career banker topic technology here. So I always get my own thing when she goes off on this topic.
So this is Ben from the New Leaders Plus. So like I said, for me, ultimately everything has to translate either into revenue improvement or cost decrease. Right? I keep saying rest everything is a hobby. On this one, it contributes to both, and I'll tell you why. Right? If that salesman sells, like the recommendation engine in that outlet sells this SKU which is not there, is being sold in some other store and helps the salesman. Remember, the salesman is a 10 standard pass or a 12 standard pass in that outlet. He's not the most intelligent person in my system. So this intelligence is what powers saying, why don't you push that SKU, number one. Number two, like I said, promotions. Given my range of categories and the number of SKUs and the promotions running, difficult to remember. This system remembers, and this system prods saying, why don't you push one more. Number three is real-time tracking in terms of which are the outlets which have not bought for the month. Right, unbilled outlets, on a real time the salesman gets to this thing. He's positively motivated when he looks up every day morning and sees this much to go, he's earned this much incentive, he can cross the next slab. So pushing up the revenue is reality. That's number one. Number two, on the cost aspect, now I have a real time geotagging of all the outlets around, so I can optimize my routes much more, number one. Number two is my promotions. Since I have everything real-time coded, I can move it up and down to make sure it is efficient, whatever I am spending. So I can go on and on a list of 25 different things because of real-time availability. So quantify that, what is the benefit that you are looking at?
In terms of rupees and cents?
No, in terms of revenue or in terms of cost, what is the benefit?
So let me just leave you with whatever we have spent on Salesforce. There is a business case which gives me an ample enough return on the investment.
You do not quantify that?
No, this is figures we have not made public.
Quantify from the sales point of view, the revenue point of view.
So this is figures which we have not made public, right? So, but let me just say the business case works for us. Number has got nothing to do with Mavic. Mavic just makes it more efficient and more optimal to this thing. I mean, I will appoint distributors anyways. What Mavic allows me to do is leverage the data that comes out from real-time sales to make informed decisions, which will then fuel the numbers still better.
Any numbers, sir, on the distribution network?
The distribution network, we've said already that all 50,000 population we have covered. We are now looking to cover all 20,000 population plus with sub-distributors. I leave it out for now. I can answer it separately because that doesn't pertain to Salesforce and Mavic, right? Now, as regards what does Mavic do for increasing distribution, very clearly when we said we are going to do two things this year. Number one, in the metro cities, we are splitting the salesmen to give them more focus by category, right? So, for example, in the large cities, 1 million plus and select 500,000 plus cities, I have 3 salesmen. Earlier it used to be 1 till a year back. Now they have 3 separate salesmen, one only focused on tea and organic India. Second one is focused on salt and sampan, and the third one is on capital foods and soul food, right? So there is ultimately bandwidth release happening at the front end because limited number of variables out there. So that was in the urban areas where we wanted to increase depth in the outlet. In the semi-urban and rural, we wanted to increase width of distribution. What we have done is
in the larger urban towns up to 50,000 population, we've got distributors. What does a distributor mean? It's exclusive, salesman, inventory, promotion, etc., etc. Below that, where my volumes are still not there, we've appointed sub-distributors. Now, like we said, there is close to around 9,000 sub-distributors which were appointed, going up to about 10,000 population. These are serviced by super stockists. So there is a separate module for Mavic to the super stockists and to the sub-distributors. Appointing 9,000 sub-distributors happened probably in a 4 or 5 month period, and the speed at which you can add on a Mavic is, I mean, hit health, that's number one. And number two, Mavic is real time. Rest everything that we can do at a super stockist level, super stockist and sub-distributor level.
Right. Sir, I know you don't give.
This is very difficult to talk about right now, because at this point of time, as I said, it's just gone live, right? And we have to find mature companies like these where it can, immediately start where they can immediately start looking at it. So at this point of time, I don't want to talk numbers, but the only thing that I'd like to tell you is that wherever we have gone and wherever we have shown them what it can do, there's been a lot of excitement. And again, this is my own personal experience. When I first saw the demo of Agent Force myself in Dreamforce this time, I almost felt like, what a handloom worker must have felt if they visited one of the textile mills of Mumbai when it first started. Or when a villager saw the first steam engine, huffing and puffing across the landscape. I had a similar kind of feeling. It's strange, that feeling. It's very exciting. It gives you a little bit of anxiety and fear, but it's also like, it's wondrous that, that something like this can happen. And I would say that we are in that transition moment in technology, when we are really taking a quantum leap from one end from one stage to another. Having said that, how much will it actually translate to in rupee terms or dollar terms? It's still out there, we don't really know.